Take two.
That's right. Okay, so we're live now. Record
Check.
now.
Check.
Cash.
I don't remember how it goes from there.
Okay, I'm Jason,
I'm Rob.
and this is our first episode, our first podcast, our very first vlog entry. So you are a very distinguished guest. We're happy to have you.
Can't be duplicated.
Can't be duplicated
One of a kind.
or imitated.
One of a kind.
We decided to start off this entire series, if you will, talking about the homeless situation as people perceive it in our community.
You need to get your mic. There you go.
Sorry.
Hello?
Can you hear me
Can
now?
you hear me now?
And so we felt it was important for people in the homeless community to have a voice. And so it's really easy for us to talk to people who are resources in the community, police officers, businesses, but nobody's given the homeless community a voice. And that's what we want to do. We're starting this entire series laying it all on the line, and we want to start showing the different facets of homelessness in our community. Now, a lot of people don't know that I was part of the homeless community for 3 months. So when my house burned down, I had nowhere to go. I was a couch surfer. You know, I left clothes on my back, and that was it. And so, but I was transitioning. I was looking for somewhere to go. So me and my family, you know, we stayed with friends and family, and then ended up getting a home and going from there. But we have in our community, unfortunately, I think a stereotype associated with homelessness. And that's something that we need to break. Because even though there is some bad, there's also good. And, you know, there are children that are homeless, adults that are homeless, battered women, and people that just don't really have a lot of control over their situation. We need to give them a voice. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's David McInnes. I've been here in North Carolina since 2007, originally from Florida. I got a law enforcement background. Retired corrections officer after 20 years. I worked security at the hospital here in town for 5 years. Unforeseen circumstances happened to me back in 2017, and I wound up homeless.
Mm.
And it is a big reality check when you go from one side of the fence to the other, because you do have your preconceptions of what homeless people are and what you think and what you are, but it doesn't take much to go from having everything to having nothing.
Right.
And when you've got nothing, you got nowhere to go and don't know what to do. And especially when you have nothing. And it's just, I've always been very private in who I am and very limited on my friends. And I had nowhere to go. And I've got nowhere to go. I've got really no family. I mean, the family I do have, I don't have the white picket fence type family. We don't do the family reunions. I mean, good Lord, but it's been years and almost a decade since we've seen each other. But that's just how it is. I mean,
So what put you in the position?
I had a nervous breakdown. I lost my job I had. I tried finding jobs. I know what my worth is. I know what my value is. But when you keep getting a door slammed in your face telling you no, and you know there was some circumstances behind it that past is past. You know, I blamed my former employer for blackballing me. Yet they said they didn't. But you know, I'm from a place, and my background and everything is like, when you hear something from one place, that's one thing. When you hear from 4 or 5 different places, got some backbone to it.
Yeah.
You know, even though you can deny it. But the thing is when it's all word of mouth, and nobody's going to put nothing on paper saying that, yeah, they said this, you know, you can't prove nothing.
What was the biggest hurdle as far as why
Getting
you couldn't
back on
get
my
help?
feet.
Or, yeah.
Getting back on my feet. I got lucky. I found the House of Refuge in Morganton. Was there for I've been there since. But in the short time that I was there, the manager we had at the time saw something in me and gave me an opportunity to be the cook there and start cooking for the guys and taking care of the guys and helping out a little bit. And then from there, I got pushed up into the assistant manager position. Was doing that for a while, and unforeseen circumstances happened with our manager that we had at the time and everything. And when he got real sick, I stepped up, took the position as manager, and I've been there since.
Right.
I really think a lot of it is most of my life I had the attitude of it was me against the world. And, funny thing growing up in middle school, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everybody's got, I want to be a cop. I want to be a fireman. I want to be an astronaut. I did a whole thing on I want to be a hermit. I want to live on a private island somewhere middle way from people and just leave me alone.
Right.
Goals. Yeah. Yeah.
And I did the whole thing. I want to be a hermit. Just leave me alone. But I think there was God giving me a smack in the back of the head going, you ain't alone and you do need people to survive. And instead of just taking care of me, I'm taking care of 14 other guys in the house, and I'm responsible for those 14 guys in the house and getting bumped up to manager. I'm in charge of the house and responsible for those guys and make sure they get fed and make sure they're taken care of and making sure this gets done and making sure my assistant. And so, it's not just me against the world anymore. I've got responsibilities and other people to take care of as well.
Would you, if you could kind of give, a message to people who have an idea about who homeless people are, what would you want to tell them?
Truth be told, it's like you never know. I mean, it could be the person sitting right across from you over at a restaurant. It could be the person standing behind you in line at the grocery store. You don't know. There's no definite, blinking sign above someone's head going, bing, I'm homeless. Hello, here I am. I mean, it could be anybody at any given time. And everybody has reasons for whatever they're homeless. I mean, it could be a loss of your job and it's the job market trying to find. It could be the loss of your house burns down, you've got nothing. A few guys we've had at the house, they meet someone online and move here to be with them, and everyone's got a background story and everyone's got one.
Yeah.
But it's not the bum and drug addict and nasty and dirty and everything that you see. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
What are the things you think that you're working with a bunch of guys? I mean, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
I got 14 guys. It's just straight. It's all guys.
Right. What across the board, is there something that stands out that keeps people from going forward and trying to
I think a lot of it
get
is
back?
Self-respect. Having pride in themselves, having some self-respect for themselves, having the motivation, the ability to set goals, and setting the goals, but setting achievable goals. I want to be CEO of a company. Okay, fine. You can't just walk in the door and, hey, I'm CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to have the baby steps to get to your goals. Start with the baby steps.
Right.
I want to do this. Fine. What are you going to do to get to that point? Now what? Now what's next? Set your goals and set them achievable. Don't set them too high that you get to a point where it's like, I just give up.
So that being said, what's next for you?
I don't know. This has been a very humbling and moving experience for me. I was looking 2 weeks ahead, a month ahead, 3 months ahead. I didn't care about what today was. I mean, today's already here. 2 weeks I got to do this. Next month I got to do that. Well, next month, tomorrow might not be here.
Yeah.
So, one day at a time. I've learned to take things one day at a time and all that stuff. And I had a goal of when I first got there, and, I got there around October of 2017, and I got a job and things were going real well, that it was going to be January of 19. The whole year of 18, I was working and doing this and putting money aside. And I got a vehicle again. I got this. I had a good job. I'm working. I'm like, cool. By January and that, I want to be moved out. I want to be back into a house. I want to be back into an apartment. I want to be whatever. Boom, boom, boom. October rolls around. Something happened with our manager. He got real sick. God had other plans for me.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever God, I've gotten to a point wherever God takes me, I'm going. And right now, it's God's got me at the house. God's got me taking care of these guys. God's got me doing all this other bit.
Yeah.
So I would like to be back on my own, back in an apartment, having a job again, you know. But we'll see where it takes me.
That's right.
I mean, I've got feelers out. You know, it's the job I had. I left because of some personal reasons, and it's okay. It was a mutual thing. David said, if I want to come back, I'm welcome back.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was nice. Right now, I'm full-time manager at the house, taking care of that house. We've had a few changes at the house with some of our rules and things we're doing. So it's almost a full-time job.
Yeah.
And it pretty much is. You know, when things happen, even in the middle of the night, my door gets knocked on. So, but just all one day at a time. And it's just the biggest thing is I've tried to tell some of the guys, you've got to have the self-respect, you've got to have the self-pride, and without that, no one else is going to see it either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. That's right.
But it's like, you know, the biggest thing I can say is if people see someone and, you know, it's like, oh, I'm homeless, don't gasp. I mean, we're not going to mug you, we're not going to beat you up, we're not going to steal from you. It's just, it ain't much for you to go from having it all to having nothing.
You know, for me, it was a lightning strike on a house, and that's all it took. And I had nothing to do with it. It was beyond my control, and I had nowhere to go, and no insurance.
Yeah.
You know, had nothing, and we're all on that ragged edge. You know, no matter how much money you have. I mean, there's a lot that happens today that, you know, millionaires can lose it all. It could be a lawsuit. It can be
small chain reactions.
It could.
They just take off.
Could, and any of us can be in that position. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is when they're critical. I think for one, it's a defense mechanism. It's a sort of thing that humans do.
That can't happen to me.
Yes, and it's the same reason I think that people want to know when there's an accident and somebody passes away, were they wearing their seatbelt, kind of thing. Just so they can say, oh, well, in their mind, oh, good, I wear my seatbelt. You know, that can't happen to me. I think it's the same sort of thing. But until the day that I left, actually, just down the road from here, and I got the phone call that my house was on fire. And when I got to the road that I lived on and I was pulling in, and there was, you know, I'm weaving in and out of fire trucks, and they were pulling the hoses out of my house, and the water's running out of it. I never thought I could be in that position.
Yeah.
It happened at the blink of an eye.
Well, it's a Superman factor.
It really is. It is
not me.
And it's all relative.
I got this. I got a job. I got a house. I got everything.
Yeah.
I got it. It can't happen to me.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen to me. That's someone else.
Until it does.
That's right.
But it's, you know, you can get knocked off that pedestal at any time.
Yeah. Any one of us can.
And when it happens, it is a huge reality check.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially, you know, if you've got a support system, all the more better.
That's right.
All the more better to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you don't have one,
Yeah.
reality check, what do you do?
Mentally,
What
it can send
now?
you for a loop.
That's right.
I
And
mean,
I think
it could crash.
You're 100%. And I think that one of the things that needs to be noted is that you're part of a support group for people that don't even have support, right?
Yeah.
And so if somebody doesn't have that family, they don't have those friends, they've got people like you who are now a resource, who have been there, that can say, hey, I've been through this, let me help you. Because a lot of people don't know where to turn, and they just, you know, fall back in it, for lack of a better term, and end up in a position where they abusing drugs or just all the bad things that happen, which is what we typically associate with the homeless community. When they find out that there are people that are available that can put their arm around them and say, hey, you know, here we are, I can help you with this.
Well, seeing people as individuals instead of a
Yes.
whole,
Yes.
you know, everybody.
You got to look at the individual piece of the pie instead of the whole puzzle.
Yeah.
But one of the big things as well is you can only help someone that is willing to help themselves.
Yes.
Because if they're not going to do it, you can lead the horse to water. You can't make it drink.
100%. And accountability is a big part of this picture. You know, one of the goals that we have in this series, you know, this podcast vlog will go on after we tackle homelessness, but our job is to create the awareness on both sides of the community. And when we create enough awareness, somebody that becomes homeless tomorrow will hear this and say, I know where I can go. I know somebody I can talk to.
Anytime.
And you might be that guy.
Anytime.
I think that's the sort of thing that gets too ignored. Those are the things that are key. Those are the things that are important. In some respects, a meal might be less important than a discussion with you in the event that I become homeless.
Having
right?
somebody see something in you,
Yes.
like you said,
That's
somebody
all it
saw
is.
something
Yes.
in you. That's a
Yeah.
spark that
Yeah.
That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, the organization that you're part of, which is potentially a huge part of the foundation for the forward movement of homeless people in our community, we're realizing, and we're going to have further discussions with other people, that some people don't mind being in the position they're in. But there are people like you that want to be back made whole again. They want homes, and they want to be, and that they're out there and they're making a difference and can be part of the solution for somebody else.
Always.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. You got to be able to suck it up.
Yep.
You've got to be able to take responsibility for your actions.
That's right.
Stop blaming everybody else.
Yep.
But you got to also realize that you ain't alone either.
That's right.
You're not. There's umpteen billion people on this planet. You're not the only one that's gone through it.
Absolutely.
yeah, that's hard to get through sometimes.
Yeah.
It is, but you've got to somehow, once you realize all that, things start to fall into place.
That's right. You can determine how long you want to become a victim.
Yeah.
Because you can be a victim after the incident for a short time and then decide, I'm not a victim anymore. I'm going to do something to move forward.
Big time.
And that's all here. And we all make those decisions as individuals, whether it pertains to homelessness or anything else in our lives. How long do you want to be a victim? For some people, it's a matter of convenience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And maybe at some point we've all been there at one time, but the reality is it doesn't move you forward.
Well, and it is, like you said, being the victim and playing the victim role is more comfortable at times.
Yeah.
Than actually having to pull up the bootstraps and hike it up and
That's right.
suck it up and take the steps forward.
Especially if you're finding, camaraderie
Yeah.
in that, and you're finding other people who are like,
right.
hey, me too.
Yeah.
You too? Yeah, me. And,
So-
you find solace there.
But it's like, do you want to stay comfortable and stay down, or, I used to be there, I want to get back there.
Yep. Well, I think this is good. We appreciate you being
I
here.
appreciate you guys
being
doing
our
this.
first guest.
I like it.
We don't know if that gets you anything. I
Hey.
mean, we've got hats for you. We can give you a hat, a new one, not the one that I've been wearing. Thank you. And yes, that one smells a little bit. But
I gotta
anyway,
wash it.
and Rob's is too big for everybody's head but his.
They made mine out of a 50-gallon drum.
They used a
They just cut the
basketball.
top off.
There was a
Well,
basketball that they had to set it on to see if it would fit, and then they.
And then they made it bigger.
See, I got a small hat. I used to have a 10-gallon hat, but it only holds 6 gallons.
Right.
Mine holds like 15 or 18.
Well, see, we can use yours when we pass the hat.
Yes.
If we fill your hat up, we'll be good.
You just climb in it and
That's awesome.
slide down a hill in the
And
snow.
we want to thank 96.5 for letting us use your studio.
Definitely.
Hopefully
Awesome.
this will be ongoing and we don't get run off. So I have to keep Rob in check to make sure he doesn't do anything strange to get us deported or anything. And we don't have a name yet for this podcast vlog. So the Rob and Jason show is not going to be, we thought about naming it like a shared Facebook profile, but then we found out that, Rob and Jason, people make fun of those. So we're not doing that. So we've got to rely on people that are watching this.
We don't actually
and
have to be
guests
married to do that, though.
to actually, oh really?
No.
Well, it's still an option. It's
I
still
don't
on the
want.
table.
That's
I think you need to do a contest.
A contest
I mean,
to figure out what we're going
give
to
away
name
a
it.
hat, give away his hat, signed autograph,
welcome
whatever.
to Robservations.
and
Robservations.
what's going to be the new?
Yeah.
What's going to be the new name?
We need a
Come
name.
up with a name.
We need a name for sure because this isn't going to end anytime soon. We're going to be doing this probably from now on, unless people don't want to see it, and then I think we'll still do it, won't we?
You can't
Yes.
please. That's,
Probably.
Can't please everybody. If you don't like it, there's
That's right.
always another channel.
That's right. We're going to wrap up. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And this is setting the tone for discussions moving forward. So
Definitely.
this is important, and we're going to put this out there as the guy that people can lean on. So if
Always.
people see you walking down the street now,
Anytime, stop me.
hashtag local
Anytime.
famous, and they're going to
Hey.
be looking at you.
Fabulous. I'll sign autographs.
That's right.
I got a pen.
All right,
Have your
that's
picture
awesome.
taken.
We
Appreciate y'all.
appreciate you.